It's just one bed trope, but in a different font. Hey everyone, it's Sunny. Welcome to a new video. I made a video ranking book tropes before on my channel. I actually asked on my Instagram at sunnykimchannel, go follow it if you haven't already. But I put the question sticker on my story last night being like, oh, like send me book tropes in preparation for this video. I'm so limited. I know that I don't have all the book tropes that I possibly could. But I checked this morning and you guys actually popped off. You guys sent in so many tropes. Your tropes be kind of specific. I loved all of your guys' suggestions so much that I just compiled all of them and made it its own thing. Here I am. I kept the same tiers as last time for consistency's sake, but let me run through them super quick in case anyone's new. So at the very top we have God tier, my favorite book tropes ever. If a book trope has this in it and does it well, it's probably gonna become one of my favorite books of all time. 7 out of 5 stars. Next tier down is banger. I will like thoroughly enjoy them if they're in a book. A bob, I guess, is I'm like kind of neutral to it. I'm like not mad about it, not throwing hands about it, and it's done well. I'll enjoy it. POV, the letter after X. And then lastly we have jail, which is prison time. So okay, so here are all the tropes that I put in this rendition. I tried to include tropes that I didn't include in that video, but I kind of can't remember too clearly, so I'm very sorry if there's repetition. The first one is villain redemption arc. That's a banger because okay, you guys know this, okay? The sun rises again tomorrow and Sunny loves a slow burn. For me, villain's redemption is like it's like kind of a slow burn. Don't kill me. I feel like everyone can agree that like a morally ambiguous character is like always gonna be more interesting than like golden boy character always does the right thing. That's not interesting. You're boring. I hope everyone understands that Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference. If a villain in a story has a redemption arc, I'm probably gonna be more invested in that arc than like our actual main character. Villain's redemption is always gonna be more interesting and you can't change my mind about that. Yeah, the girls who get it and the girls who don't. Next we got IDK what to call it, but the why didn't you respond to my letters? You sent me letters trope. You're mine. You're mine. It's giving Dear John. Kind of not, but by the way, Dear John is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Would you guys believe me? Yes, you totally would actually. You best believe that every time I'm walking in the nighttime and I see a full moon out, I always do this thing. Every single time I always do it. I'm gonna put it in a bop, I guess. Do you like the forced proximity trope? But like the opposite of that, like forced separation. I'm not like the biggest fan of that because you guys know that I think that it's boring when two people are actually together. It's giving like third act conflict. It's probably my least favorite part about reading romance books. Okay, next is main character death. Okay, I don't know if I'm of the unpopular opinion about this in the way that I actually don't have an opinion. It's gonna go in a bop, I guess. I actually don't have an opinion. I actually don't care that much. You know when everyone was like rioting after the last book in the Divergent series came out? Oh, it's kind of a spoiler. I'm probably gonna leave this in though, so you guys can slander me in the comments. But I don't think that there is a lot of people in the world who don't know about the fact that Tris ends up dying at the end of that trilogy, which is why like the third book is like written from Tris and For's point of view. Sorry, why did I bring up For just now? Because I'm actually riled up. I'm actually acting up now because I love 𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐨 so much. Should I watch Divergent right now? Oh my gosh, can you imagine that plot twist? You guys click on this video expecting this to be tier ranking, then 5 minutes in it's just a Divergent watch along. Anyway, I feel like I only ever read about main character deaths in books where I didn't care about the main character, and I don't think that that's random. So I think that if it's done well, then it's like fine and I actually don't have an opinion about it. I've never been angry. Okay, next is Romeo and Juliet style star-crossed lovers. Don't kill me. This is also going in a bop, I guess. Romeo and Juliet star-crossed lovers is not the same thing as enemies to lovers. Fall in love despite other people thinking that you can't, but I would rather people falling in love in spite of wishing that they didn't. If that makes sense? Like I think that the inner turmoil between yourself and your heart is so much more interesting than like a house divided. You know what I mean? Or I would rather like them be the reason that they're apart because they don't want to be together, but they're in love with each other. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. But okay, next is one bed trope, but make it one horse and now we have to travel with my arms around you. I don't know if this is unpopular. This is going in POV the letter after X. I actually hate this scene, guys. I actually kind of hate it. Oh, I don't like it. It actually stresses me out. It actually stresses me out because I don't think that I know the mechanics behind horseback riding. I don't have the qualifications for this. Similar to one bed trope, and like I don't think I've ever read this scene and like enjoyed it. It's just one bed trope but in a different font. I've never read it and like liked it. I've always found it to be cringy. I said the same thing in my last video about the one bed trope. I hate reading the characters like inner thoughts. I always get like secondhand embarrassment. I always get like my fingers curl. Like I just find it so cringy for some reason. Again, this is like the one bed trope. I can smell it coming from a mile away. I can feel it coming from a mile away. Wow, if you guys know what movie that's from, like We Can Be Friends and we had the same childhood in different homes. Friends with benefits to lovers. This is just a personal preference. It's going in POV the letter after X. Kind of the opposite of a slow burn, but you know what I mean? I would rather than like literally not be together at all. Okay, next is past life, current life. So reincarnation essentially. I imagine this like people like being faded together, like getting together in like different lifetimes. Going also in kind of POV the letter after X. Like I'm not the biggest fan of that because I feel like it always comes with people being like prophesized to be together. Like the universe wants us to be together so much. I don't really enjoy the relationship arc as much because I feel like then it takes away the character's choice to be together. I'm so sorry about the glare. It's giving Edmund from Bly Manor. I feel like the best part about reading a relationship is like the more work that has to go into the relationship, like the better the payoff. If people are like soulmates, like fated to be together every single lifetime, it takes away the character's active effort. So yeah. Okay, next. Person A gets amnesia and now A is falling in love with the wrong person while B watches. Ooh. My pulse starts racing. You know that I actually wish Olivia Holt like seriously pursued music. Like I feel like she could pull a Dove Cameron. I see so many of them. Okay, yeah, I like don't know about this one. Okay, I think that I've decided to put it in a bop, I guess, because I do like the angst that person B faces, but you guys know that I don't like it when people get together. I find it kind of boring. I think that I would love the angst from person B, but then I would lose interest in person A. I think that cancels out, so it's gonna be a bop, I guess. Next, height differences. This is also going in a bop, I guess, because I'm just neutral to it. I honestly have no opinion. This is actually pretty terrible. I have no opinion because I fully ignore physical character descriptions when I read books. Because I'm Simon Cowell, you're auditioning for my show. First thing that I do when I start reading a book is figure out like casting. Like I'm running my own production company. Like I don't know why like height is never a consideration. You know what my toxic trait actually is? Assuming that everyone is my height. Okay, next, unknown royalty. They find out and have to save the kingdom. Barbie Princess Charm School style. Hey, we can be friends. I'm gonna put it in a bop, I guess. I think that the arc is fun. Like it'll probably be an interesting plot. You guys know that it's royalty and then peasants for me. Peasants like affectionate, not peasants derogatory. Main characters who are commoners are always gonna be more interesting to me than main characters who are royalty. You know, not to invalidate anyone's feelings and stuff, but from like just a realistic standpoint, I'm kind of always like, are we really reading the room right? When like someone who royalty starts complaining about their royalty problems to like a peasant. Yeah, not to invalidate people's feelings, and I'm sorry that you couldn't pursue your life passion of like stargazing through your telescope and you have to like sneak out in the— Some people are literally starving. Yeah, knife to the throat scene. Okay, I'm gonna put it in banger because it is a banger, but only if it's legitimately a knife to the throat. None of that like teaching someone like how to use a knife. Okay, that is not in here, but I'm just gonna say right now that I hate training scenes. It's like the holy trinity. One bed trope, the horse riding trope, and then like the training scene, wrapping your arms around that person. Like these three, it's like forced proximity, like to the power of 3. I don't think I've ever read a scene where I like truly reacted how the scene like wanted me to react. I've never enjoyed it. Only like knife to the throat scene if it's truly like a knife to the throat. Like they actually would kill them. Okay, next, unrequited love. A bop, I guess. Yeah, because I feel like then for the most part it's like one part of a love triangle, but like the part that's like not that interesting. Next, tending to the wounds trope. I'm gonna put that in banger, only if it's done well though. And I've only really read it in one book. It did it really well. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I think the entirety of book 2 can agree that the bathroom scene in Crooked Kingdom is actual royalty. Okay, next, childhood bully to lovers. Like borderline toxic but not enough to cancel. My friend actually submitted this. That's like the opposite of childhood friends to lovers. I'm gonna put that in banger. I personally haven't read a book like this. If anyone knows any books like this, please let me know. I would actually be so down to read that. That sounds actually like so good. It's giving like the biggest soul burn of your entire life, and I kind of want that. I actually want to read that book. Next, I love you with all my heart and soul, but I will have to watch you grow old and die while I outlive you. Okay, I remember putting this one because it's giving relationship between someone who's immortal and mortal, and I don't like that. That one's going in jail. It actually stresses me out. I've explained this before. I don't care. Like I feel like we give a pass for the immortal mortal relationship because most of the time the immortal person can like change the way that they appear age-wise, and so because it looks like they're around the same age and it looks pretty okay, like digestible, but I can't not think about the fact that there's literally like 1,000-year maturity gap between the two. And how is that not concerning? I'm like, how am I the only one concerned about this? It's giving prison time. The only exception is when the immortal, they actually are the age that they look to be. The Cruel Prince and the Infernal Devices. Okay, more than one love interest over the course of a series. Such a banger, but only if it's actually done well, not if it's like The Court of Thorns and Roses. I mean, what? Yeah, I love it when there's more than one love interest, but I only like it if the endgame love interest is kind of hinted at or viable from the very beginning, because that means that the slow burn has started since a long time ago. Next, love triangles but between brothers. This one is immediately going to God tier. If there was a tier above this, it would like be Ascended. Infernal Devices, The Inheritance Game, Samurai Turn Pretty. This trope is so good and I didn't even realize it. It has to be the brothers actually like have to care about each other. Like the fact that their brothers has to keep one of them from pursuing the relationship because they love their brother so much and they don't want their brother to be hurt. So they're like I'm gonna just not put myself in it. You know, their happiness matters more than my happiness, and like that's the best angst I've ever read about in my entire life. So freaking good. Okay, you hate me right now, but I'm injured and have nowhere else to go. That's a banger. Do you know what I'm thinking about? I don't even watch Grey's Anatomy, but I love randomly watching like Grey's Anatomy like couple character arcs, and I loved Alex and Joe. This trope happens to them, and like I love this so much. Oh, throwing the love interest over your shoulder in an argument. This is literally going in jail. I don't think I've ever expressed this. I actually hate this. Like, I actually hate it. Where's the bodily autonomy? Like, I actually hate it. I read that and I'm like, should we like kill them? Okay, male leads mean, rude girlfriend before he gets with a female lead. This is also going in jail. Because why would you be with her if she is like a terrible person? That's the first part that I don't get. Otherwise, the author created that girl character as the girlfriend character first and then decided to make her mean in order to make the female love interest look better. I don't support that. It actually bothers me so much because I'm like, oh, like why do we need to batter down other women in order to make other women look better? I don't like that. Just make him single. Doesn't make any sense to me. Seems like a cheap shot. Why are you taking cheap shots? Bodyguard and famous person slash royalty trope. I didn't think that I liked this, and then I read Tokyo Ever After, and my conclusion is that I like this when the bodyguard looks like Yeonjun from TXT. You're the one that I want. I'm gonna put in a banger though. Okay, friends to enemies to lovers. I feel like this is gonna be kind of unpopular because I know that people love this trope more than just a straight enemies to lovers. I actually love a straight enemies to lovers more. This is gonna go in a bop, I guess. I want them to meet for the first time, like absolutely hating each other, than them like actually like getting along, because most of the time it's like something pretty external or some kind of like misunderstanding. Otherwise there's no other reasons why they would be enemies if they got along at first. I find it to be less interesting than them like truly just personally not liking each other. Like I would prefer if they had like a personal distaste. Neighbors to lovers is such a banger. I actually really like this trope. I think that it's fun because I feel like this is like forced proximity but like 1 degree outward, which I prefer, because forced proximity, I don't know why, like forced proximity doesn't do it for me. Neighbors to lovers on the other hand, neighbors to lovers is like all the benefits of forced proximity but without the forcefulness. Okay, next, bad boy but it's only soft for that one person. It's giving I hate everybody but you, and we all know how I feel about that. I actually have a whole book rec video about this, probably already up. Okay, next, main character finds out they're part of a secret society. This is always a banger. I'm very upset that we've moved away from this genre of books. This is so fun because who wouldn't want to be the main character? You know what I mean? It's just so fun. How fun is it to think about the fact that there could be secret societies that exist that we don't know about, and then we get to be in on the secret? Everybody loves being part of a scheme, and it's so nostalgic. Like it really brings me back to like middle school when like this was what every single book was about. Like it's giving City of Bones. Like there's always gonna be a part of me that like hopes that this is gonna happen. Okay, childhood friends to lovers is gonna be a banger. Actually, I wonder if I should put it in God tier because recently I figured out that I only like childhood friends to lovers in contemporary settings. Like, I think I prefer enemies to lovers in fantasy and dystopia books, but then I prefer childhood friends to lovers and friends to lovers in contemporary books. Childhood friends to lovers, if it's done well in a contemporary setting, will probably become one of my favorite books, like if it's done super well. Okay, next, forced proximity. Guys, I don't like forced proximity. I'm sorry, I don't like forced proximity. I'm gonna put in POV the letter after X. Like I won't hate it if it's in a book, like I'll read it. I'm literally reading one right now. Like, I feel like it's like too easy, you know what I mean? Like I want there to be like as much obstacles between the two people as possible. Like I don't want them to remove all the obstacles. Okay, next, character A does something that saves character B's life. Example, takes a bullet for them. Okay, I remember putting this in. This isn't a banger, but do you know what actually deserves to be in God tier? Is this one Pacific rendition of this trope. Character A covers character B during an explosion, like covering someone from all the shrapnel, and then probably the next scene is gonna be like attending to the wound scene. And even better if they pretend that it's okay, then you only find out in hindsight what actually happened, that their injuries were actually much more severe than character B imagined that it was. I'm actually gonna pass away. That also deserves to be an ascension tier. School slash boarding school trope. I'm gonna put in banger. I actually love this setting because it feels like so removed from society that it's like Lord of the Flies. It's giving The Wilds on Amazon Prime. Also, I feel like I have always had a secret wish to be able to be sent to boarding school because I think that the uniforms are cute. Brother's best friend. Guys, I really didn't think that I would like this trope. I didn't think that I would be such a simp for this trope until I read this one book series and I vlogged it. You guys know what book series I'm talking about. Now I'm on the hunt for brother's best friend all the time. Something about this trope, I like can't even like, all my emotions from that book series are still so raw, like I can't even talk about it. Man, it's like a new God tier. Next, working together to solve the murder you were accused of. This is gonna be in a I'll I was gonna put in Bop, I guess. I'm actually gonna put it in POV the letter after X. I get stressed out because I'm stressed out for the main character who's getting accused of murder. I'm like, oh, can we not dilly-dally? Okay, next, dead ex-lover trope. When one of the couple has a dead spouse who they really love. This is gonna go in a Bop, I guess. I saw this and I just included it because it's exactly Reminders of Him, which is a book that I read pretty recently and I really like. It's in a Bop, I guess. I'm pretty neutral towards that. Bop to the top. Oh, I don't know, I'm so thirsty. But why am I also reaching for this ring pop? Oh my god! Mine is Watermelon. This is my final ranking for the trope. Thank you for everybody who submitted a trope. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at sunnykimchannel. Be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. And hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every single time that I upload. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!